It's the Center Fantasy Football Podcast.
Welcome to the party, pal!
Yes! Yes! Yes, this is my favorite part of the game.
Analyzing all of the league matchups week to week.
You can't win!
Get him a body bag! Finish him!
It is a bit above average.
I said this sucks, and basically so do you.
And discussing the boom, bust, and hidden gem players throughout the league.
We ain't found shit!
What the hell is Brett Favre doing here?
I'm in town to play the Dolphins, you dumbass.
Dan Marino should die of gonorrhea and rot in hell. Laces out.
Touchdown!
And here's your host,
Allow myself to introduce myself.
David Harbacken. Hello and welcome to the Center Fantasy Football Podcast for Week 11 of Season 6. A forgettable season for Mr. Lutsky and starting to become one for me. I don't know what happened this... Anyway, say hello, Geese.
Hello.
Yes, well, I don't know what happened this week. Dogs and cats... whatever, mass hysteria. I don't even know where to start on last week's games. First of all, 1 point really made the difference between a whole lot of stuff. I don't know, pick a game. I mean, I guess we could start with my game, which really determined a lot. The 1603ers fall to Fitzmagic, or the Millennials, 135.54 to 134.40. Yeah, so going into the Monday night game, the 1603ers had, I think it was like a 12-point lead or something like that. The Millennials had Odell Beckham going. We had Rosas going. I knew it was going to be a close finish, as many of these Monday night games have. It certainly turned out that way. Odell caught 2 touchdown passes, including one that just annoyed the hell out of me. So they went to Odell on one play. It went off his fingertips. He still almost made a ridiculous grab, but it just went out of his fingertips. And then on the next play... They run the same. They run the exact same play this time. Eli gets it right to him, and the Millennials went up by, I want to say, 5 points. I think they went up by 5 points. So then the Giants got a field goal. The Niners, which put us within 2 or 2.14. On the Niners drive down the field, they get their own field goal. There's, a 2-minute drill. I was completely nervous because I'm like, how are the Giants going to get down the field without using Beckham? Because any kind of catch that he would get would really start to put it out of reach. But they did manage to drive down the field. I think they got a long pass to Ingram. Then there were a bunch of holding penalties. That seems to be a theme on Monday nights. And then there was a passer's interference call, I believe, or maybe it was holding. No, I think it was passer's interference, which brought the Giants down to the, 5-yard line or something like that. Yeah, so on that drive, I needed a field goal. If they kicked a field goal, we probably would have won, although it would have gone into overtime. We would have seen what happened. But of course they don't. They threw a touchdown. It wasn't to Beckham, but it didn't matter, as Rosas only got 1 point instead of the 3 for the field goal. And the Millennials won the game, which... really upended things. That 1 point made the difference between the 1603ers being in first place and them somehow being in third. I mean, if you look at this game, Russell Wilson got 32.24 points. Ryan got 24.5. I actually was watching some of that game, and there was like some last-minute possessions, which really caused a difference. Everything caused a difference in this. Beckham got 23.3. That's what he finished with. Boyd and Ridley only got 9.5 and 7 points, respectively. Bunches of Funchies got 6.20. For the running backs, Connor got 14.3 in that blowout game. First of all, he kind of got a concussion or whatever. He went into the protocol, or he ended up stopping playing. But in that blowout game of 52 to 21, he finished with a measly 14.3, which hurt us. Cohen got 16.4, whereas Howard only got 4.2. Melvin Gordon got 27 points, keeping us within the game. 10 points for Kelsey, which is pedestrian. Herndon got 6.4, then 25 for Ingram, and 14.6 for Duke Johnson. 17 for the New Orleans kicker for the Millennials, which also was a big difference maker, and only the 9 points for Rosas, and then 11 and 11 for the defenses. Look, we had either of the wide receivers for the 1603ers done anything, we would have been in there. We did have Amendola on the bench with 14.2 points, but once again, that's on the bench. That would have made the difference, but it didn't, and we find ourselves in third place. What are your thoughts on this game?
Well, I basically stopped watching football, so I'll have to defer to you on everything football related.
That's really what you want in a color commentator.
It looks like what's up?
That's really what you want in a color commentator for a podcast, is no knowledge of what's going on whatsoever.
I'll have to defer to you on all matters football related from here on out. I don't know. It looks like Fitzmagic just did a great job and won the game.
I mean, look. Fine.
Thanks for having me on. See you next season.
I mean, there's exciting things going on, even though you may not be a part of it. You should pay attention.
110%.
You play to win the games.
Oh, wait. Yes, there is. There's 2, actually.
All right, well, I guess, because there's so many games in here that just, okay. Well, let's go to your game right now, because this was ridiculous.
This was totally rigged, by the way.
The Mighty Whalers ended up winning 194.34 to 80.6. Beating you, first of all, setting a record. That is the most points ever in the league. And by the way, he only got 15.74 for his quarterback. Had he played Trubisky, he would have been well into almost the 250s, smashing any previous record. But he settled for a pedestrian 194, beating you by over 114 points, or just under 114 points. I don't know. Why don't you? Did you pay attention to this game at all?
Did I pay attention to this game? Well, after the Nick Chubb 98-yard touchdown run, I pretty much nailed it in at that point.
So Nick Chubb finished with 30. These numbers are... All right, so first of all, Fitzpatrick only beat Mullins by about a point. It was 15.74 to 14.1. So pretty pathetic quarterback performances there for both of you. Robert Woods got 14.6. That's acceptable. Still less than half of Tyreek Hill's 32.70. D. Moore only got 2.6, so that's 8 times less than Galladay, who got 19.8.
Yeah, we expected a little more out of him.
Kamara got 26.20 to Peterson's 8.9. Mixon only got 10.5, and Barber got 7.6. So that was one that that was one position that you were almost, you were within 3 points of that specific position. Then you go to the tight end. where he outplayed you by just a bit.
Don't worry. The other players more than made up for Joe Mixon.
Yeah, 40.5 to 7.8 for Ertz versus Fournette. And then yes, Chubb 35.9 to Mike Davis's 18 points. Normally 18 points is pretty good, but not when your opponent gets 35.9. Butker outplayed Janikowski, who only got 10 to 7. And the Philadelphia defense got 3 to San Francisco's 0. So he not only beat you by a century, Mark, he beat you in every single position in this game. So...
Yeah. I don't think there's really need for any analysis on this game.
Yeah, it was pretty much a horse whipping. And the fact that he got so many, I mean, like he was, I think 50 or something points behind me at least. So to get the 194, I mean, that just vaulted him up in point total, and really put him, does he have the most points in the league now? I mean, he's got to be close. He has the most points in the league now. After that, he has 6 more points than we do, which is the first and second most points in the league. Basically on one game. I mean, had he gotten the 240, I mean, it would have been that would have been tough to counter there. But good game for the Whalers. Well, I don't know where. I mean, where would you like to go next in this?
Well, league payouts are going to be at the end of the first calendar week of January, as we look forward to next season. It's been great to see you all. I'll let you, someone who's actually involved in significant games, pick the next game.
I mean, look, there is still $15 out to grab out there, and you can still make the playoffs. There's an outside chance. I mean, it's very outside, but it's there. But we could discuss that later. Let's first discuss the games of last week. I mean, every one of these is a shocker, except for, all right, let's go to the one game that's not a shocker to me. Although it was pretty close, but Tillett Trey defeated the Lightning Rods in a squeaker, 114.72 to 110.26. Led largely on the back of Roethlisberger's 45 points, 45.82. Tom Brady only got 11.76. 23 for Jones, 19 for Smith-Schuster, both for the Lightning Rods. For Tillett, his wide receivers only got 8.1 and 8.5 out of Evans and Jones Jr. For the Lightning Rods, 7.8 for Mack and 9.3 for Coleman. For Tillett, 14 for Barkley, who I wish had gotten more of those points than did Odell, but no. And then 11.7 for Crowell. 2.5 for O.J. Howard, 9.1 for Jordan Reed, 26.90 points for Brandon Cooks, compared to the 13.5 for Amari Cooper, who's actually been pretty good since he's gone to Dallas in terms of points. 6 for the Jets kicker for Tillett, and 5 for the Atlanta kicker. For the Lightning Rods, 4 points for the Rams defense, and -2 for the Jets defense. Had the Lightning Rods played Kerryon Johnson, he would have won this game. Or Allen Robinson, who got 31.30 points.
He left a massive amount of points on the bench. Lightning Rod's coaching is still mind-boggling.
Yeah, I mean, how many times has he left like all of his points on the bench? He could actually have a pretty decent record at this point if he didn't bench all of his like, it's like every week he makes the wrong move on those kind of things. So I guess that's the story of his season, really. I mean, but, good win for Tillett. I mean, not that great a performance, really, up and down. It's just Roethlisberger basically put him over the top in that Thursday night game. I mean, but he was certainly beatable. I mean, Lightning Rods had more than enough weapons available to him to win this game, but didn't happen. So, Tillett walked away with one, so good for him. Anything else that you want to comment on this game?
No, once again, league payouts will be at the end of the first week in January, in case anybody's wondering.
All right, moving on to the next game. All right. Well, this. I mean, we actually. I think I called this as a potential as my upset of the week last week, but the Blues end up beating Black Ice Dynasty 156.62 to 113.92. Philip Rivers had 20 points. Goff had 25.02, 25.50 for Davis, as opposed to 4.2 for Landry for Minor, only 7.3 for Humphreys for the Blues, and 12.1 for Gordon for Black Ice Dynasty. The Blues running backs 8.8 for Dion Lewis, but David Johnson finally made an appearance and got 37.30 points, making a statement that he is still alive. And for Black Ice Dynasty, his running backs, Kenyon Drake got 5.8 and 12.2 for Doug Martin. Ebron, who's been a fantastic tight end, got his 28.10 points this week. Olsen only got 8 for Minor. Antonio Brown did come up with a solid 21.60 points, as most everybody, except for Connor, had a great game against Carolina last week. Ito Smith only got 6.60 in the flex for the Blues, 13 points for the San Francisco kicker, and 10 for the Kansas City defense for the Blues, and 12 for Zerline, 13 for the Chargers defense. So, yeah. I mean, really, it was just a couple of good performances here by some of the Blues players, and Miners guys just didn't really show up that much this week. But, you know, good win for the Blues. I mean, it keeps them in the thick of things. And nothing. You have nothing to add.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so next year's auction is probably going to be the first week of September. So mark your calendar.
All right. Moving on. Well, let's go with Lombardi's office mate. God, he's in first place. I can't believe this. Dave's Secret Crush crushed Nicky Baby in a performance that Nicky Baby was getting in early on in the season. Dave's Secret Crush wins 168.46 to 103.06. Mahomes, the greatest quarterback of all time, got 24.06 points. Aaron Rodgers kept pace with 22.06. But then here was the difference in really, I mean, there's a bunch of differences here. So Cooper Kupp went down with an injury. He's out for the season, but before he did, he got 8.90 points. Keenan Allen got 17.70 points for Nicky Baby. For Davis Secret Crush, he got 27 points for Michael Thomas and 8.6 from Tyrell Williams. Gurley got only 25 points, but he was actually outplayed by McCaffrey, who got 36.80 points. And then Ezekiel Elliott, Nicky Baby's former player, really giving in the hickory stick to Nicky Baby. Like, fuck you. Fuck you for trading me. Fucker. 36.7 compared to Alfred Morris's 1.90 points. God, I think Nicky Baby wishes he had that trade back. Kittle with 17.30 points. Ben Watson only 1.10. Aaron Jones, what is going on with this guy? I mean, 32.20 points. Jared Cook only got 9.20 for Nicky Baby on the in the flex. 3 points for Vinatieri and -2. He went with the Carolina defense against Pittsburgh. Ouch. In that blowout, that's gotta hurt. I mean, granted, Jacksonville only got 0 points, but that's still better than the -2 the Nicky Baby had.
Still more than enough. Yeah. 0 is more than enough.
Yeah.
That's fun to get too.
Yeah, so yeah, Dave Secret Crush wins this game and finds himself in first place, which, the reason for that was, we said last week, this would be the upset of all time if it happened, and it did. Do you believe in miracles? Because Dr. Hockey, the man who was on pace to set all of these records, somehow won against the formerly first place team. Not only did he win, he actually had a good game. It wasn't like he squeaked this out. Odwin, make Odwin great again, wins 152.40 to 73.96. So not like a great game for him and a terrible game for Nick and Jamie. I mean, just wow. 34.90 points for Breeze. Cam Newton only at 19.72. For hockey, 21.70 points for Adams and 11 points for Fitzgerald. 19 for Edelman and only 3.9 for Tate for Nick and Jamie. Kareem Hunt only had 11.6 for Nick and Jamie. And James White with only 7.6. What happened there? For Odwin, Derrick Henry in the game against New England, he got 17.8 points and 27.90 from the savior. He actually may have been the savior. Look at that, Leonard Fournette, 27.90. Hockey was saying all season long he needed Fournette there. Clearly, that man was the key to his entire season. Jimmy Graham only got 2.40 points, and Vance McDonald showing up with 14.40 points. Hockey throwing in Cole Beasley, getting some Beasley action, 7.70 points. And Sony Michel only got 3.10 points. 3 points for Gano, and Gostkowski only 6. New England defense got 0. And hockey went with the Pittsburgh defense in that game against Carolina, getting 14 points. Everything went right for hockey in this game. My gosh. And everything went wrong for Nick and Jamie. I am shocked. I mean, you have to have some commentary about it. I mean, first of all, this is what you used to listen to comfort yourself. was the hockey games. You don't even have that now.
Nope. Don't even have the hockey losses to really make you feel good about getting blown out.
I mean, you know, I mean, it's got to make you feel at least a little bit better that you got more points than Nick and Jamie, right? 7 more points? You weren't the lowest in the league this week.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen next season, I'm going to start accepting Venmo and Square cash to pay your league dues.
Oh, yes. So moving on. I mean, everything is completely changed from last week. So Dave Secret crushed 8-2 is in first place, followed by the Whalers. There's 3 teams at 7-3. The Whalers at the top of that with the points 4, followed by the 1603ers, and Nick and Jamie the bottom. So they end up with that loss to Dr. Hockey. That was a costly loss. They moved from first place to 4th place. Fitzmagic with his win moves to 6-4. Black Ice Dynasty is 5-5. The Blues are 5-5. Tillett 5-5. So any one of those are still in contention for the playoffs. That vaunted 6th playoff spot. Nicky Baby's at 4-6. He's got still an outside chance in it, though it's starting to look grimmer. The Hagglers 3-7. 2-8 for the Lightning Rods, and now 1-9 for hockey. He still could set the record for worst team ever, but I don't know. He's, one more win and he's out of the cellar. I mean, that would be quite something. I don't know what to say here. And
I do.
What do you have to say here?
Nothing.
Start brushing up. I mean, start brushing up on your analysis, because there's a bunch more games to go. You might as well at least pay attention to this league.
Can I give you a Tommy Lee Jones? I don't care.
I think we've been over this ground before, Richard.
Do I start watching My Fugitive? I don't care.
Don't you want to see who's going to at least take over your crown? You still have a chance. You're only 2 games out of a playoff spot.
I'm 2 games away from last.
That too. Yeah, anything can happen. Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. That's what the line was. Anyway, all right, let's move on to looking forward to these next week's games. I have no idea what could possibly happen. After last week's, I'm completely thrown. But I don't know. Let's delve into these games. Which one would you like to start with? Want to start with your game?
Is that a question?
Which game will we start with?
Let's start with Dr. Hockey.
Dr. Hockey. All right. Can he win 2 in a row? Facing Nikki Baby. Now, as you all know, we are recording on Thursday night, so we do know the results of the Thursday night game as the I didn't watch it, but the Seabags won 27-24. I didn't see any of this game, but that's what happened. So already the game is 25.58 for Nikki Baby to 26.60 points for Make Audwin Great Again. Audwin is actually, first of all, he's winning, and his current up-to-date projection is 127.31 to 122.74. Can he win 2 in a row? That would be some. I mean, and frankly, if he beats Nikki Baby here, he's almost dragging him down into the grave with him. All right, so Aaron Rodgers gets 25.58 points to Devontae Adams 26.60 points, which is the current score. So basically, Nikki Baby's quarterback threw everything to Hockey's wide receiver. So good on him for that. Hockey still has Breeze to go versus Philadelphia. On Sunday, for Nikki Baby, Keenan Allen, who has a questionable mark. What's his questionable? He's added to he's a groin injury. But he's going versus Denver, and Sterling Shepard versus Tampa Bay. Hockey already had Adams go, but Fitzgerald goes versus Oakland this week. I don't know. Gurley facing Kansas City in that massive Monday Night Football game in Mexico City. Hockey has Derrick Henry at Indianapolis, and Fournette, the savior, versus Pittsburgh. Nikki Baby's second running back is Latavius Murray, who, since Dalvin Cook is back, I don't know. That doesn't really bode that well for him. Jared Cook in the tight end position for Nikki Baby going against Arizona, and Vance McDonald going against Jacksonville. For Nikki Baby, he's playing Jordy Nelson in the flex. Isn't Nelson retiring or something? He has a knee. Okay, why doesn't he just play like Megatron or Mark Bavaro in that position? I mean, I don't even see the point here. Hockey going with Philip Lindsay at the Chargers. Vinatieri, the kicker for Nikki Baby, and Elliott for Make Audwin Great Again. And then the 2 defenses from last week, I guess they're still holding on, Carolina and Pittsburgh, respectively. It looks to me like Nikki Baby is giving up too. I mean, I gotta hand it to Hockey. Look, hockey season has been over for a long time, but he still seems to be playing. Use this as an example of what you should be doing, because Nikki Baby.
Oh yeah, let me take my cues from Dr. For 1-9, Dr. Hockey.
He could be
standard. How to lose with grace.
Exactly. Look, if you're not careful, Dr. Hockey's going to catch up to you. How bad will that be? How bad will that be?
I'm shaking. Did I gonna finish 2-11?
Well, I'm predicting Dr. Hockey's going to go 2 in a row. I think he's actually going to get out of the cellar and win this.
Playing people who are retired, so you might as well put in Franco Harris.
Why not? I mean, Bradshaw, he'll be there on, well, he already played a quarterback, but I mean, Boomer Esiason, he's available on Sundays. Maybe let's see. Sterling Sharp. I don't even know.
Can you put in Dave Megan in the flex? How about Icky Woods, the Icky Shuffle?
He's still on commercials, right? Why not? He looks terrible, but, why not? So does Nikki Baby's team. All right, I'm going with Dr. Hockey, 2 in a row.
I'm going to go with Dr. Hockey as well.
That's pretty sad. All right. Where should we go next in this mess of a league?
Mess is right.
Well, let's go with your game. Tillett Trey going against the Hackettstown Hagglers. Now, you could effectively drag him down into your hellish landscape down there with a win here. Right now, you are leading 6-0. You've had your kicker, Mason Crosby, go. The current projection is 125.89 to 99.85. Why is he only... Oh, he doesn't even have a running back in there. And he sat Tyler Lockett, who got 20 points today. All right, so he's got Roethlisberger going against Jacksonville. I don't think Roethlisberger's going to do as well as he did last week. You've got Deshaun Watson back, yes, at Washington. That was the other thing. You didn't really have anybody playing last week, being that everybody was on a bye. But now they're back. They're back.
Just in time to be out of the playoffs. Woohoo!
Yeah. So Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins at Washington, and Emmanuel Sanders at the Chargers. Tillett has Mike Evans at the Giants and Marvin Jones Jr. versus Carolina. I'm going to give you the edge in all of those matchups right there. Adrian Peterson versus Saquon. Obviously, Saquon I give the edge to there. Dalvin Cook finally back. Your savior, the guy who's ruined your season. Playing against nobody because Crowell doesn't have a game. Who does he have on? What running backs does he have available? Carlos Hyde. Yeah, I'm going to give you the edge in that one. Tim Burton against Jordan Reed. I don't know. Whatever. I don't care. Amari Cooper, the newly actually catching a ball. Amari Cooper going against Robert Woods. I think Robert Woods is going to have a good game. I think everybody in that Monday night game is going to have a good game. You already have 6 from your kicker. His kicker has nobody or doesn't have a game this week, so he'll probably replace that, but who cares? And then New York versus New York in the defenses. Unfortunately, only one of the 2 New York teams are actually playing this week. That's your defense. So hopefully he'll repair that as well. Yeah, I actually think the Hagglers will win this game. Maybe if you find... certainly he needs to replace his running back, but as the Hagglers are more than aware, it's very difficult to find a running back out there in the market. So, I think you're actually going to win this game.
Wow, that's great. Next.
Okay, next. Let's go on to Black. Did we do Black Ice?
Did we?
I don't even know. I'm not even paying attention. Yeah, let's do Black Ice Dynasty versus Fitzmagic. This is a battle. This is a battle of 5 and 6. If Black Ice Dynasty could win this, they could pretty much eliminate everybody at this point. If it's and then they'll be just the playoffs will almost be set. If not, if Fitzmagic wins this, he'll secure. Well, he won't secure anything, but he'll probably be in a playoff spot, whereas Black Ice Dynasty will be back in the muck. Right now, Fitzmagic has a 22.60 point lead to 0, and that's on the back of Russell Wilson only getting 22.60 points in tonight's game. The current projection is 137.56 to 120 in favor of Fitzmagic. Goff going in that Monday night game. Look, it's the question always remains with Goff: is he going to throw a touchdown or is he going to hand it off to Gurley? I don't know. We'll see. Alshon Jeffrey and Demaryius Thomas going for Black Ice Dynasty, going against Beckham playing Tampa Bay, and Thielen, who's back at Chicago. Much better matchup there in the wide receivers for Fitzmagic. Doug Martin and Josh Adams Martin going against Arizona and Adams going at New Orleans, going to against the Chicago tandem of Cohen and Howard, playing against Minnesota. I mean, look, one of the two Chicago running backs will be okay, I guess, and Miners' running backs are garbage. Then you got Kelsey going against Olsen. Kelsey playing the Rams, and Olsen going at Detroit. I think Kelsey will. I think everybody in that Monday night game will do well. Olsen might do okay against Detroit as well. And then Antonio Brown at Jacksonville against bunches of Funchies. I do give the advantage to Brown there. And then Zerline going against Lutz, and the Chargers defense going against Chicago. Yeah, I think Fitzmagic actually wins this game, unless Miner does some editing. He's already left 18.20 points on the bench with Baldwin. He did pick up Rashad Penny, who has only 4.60 points, but yeah. So yeah, I think Fitzmagic. I think on the backs of his receiving core, we'll probably win this. Yeah, I'm going with Fitzmagic.
I'm going to have to go with Fitzmagic as well. It just looks like he's got the better players.
Yeah. All right. Now, where do we go from here? I guess we could go with Nick and Jamie versus the Lightning Rods. What was formerly the entree and the dessert. I mean, he is just... I don't know what's happening here. I mean, my God, they're just getting gobbled up by their own... I mean, these two have dismantled this juggernaut. I mean, I don't know what's happening here. So right now, Nick and Jamie is leading 2.30 points to 0, but that's not pretty good, being that their tight end only got 2.30 points from Jimmy Graham. The current projection is 127.27 to 107.01. And this is the week that the Patriots are on a bye, so this is looking pretty bad for Nick and Jamie. Knowing that they're so first of all, that they had a horrid game last week, and they're so reliant on the Patriots, who aren't even playing this. I mean, this is brutal for them. So, all right, Stafford versus Carolina, Wentz at New Orleans. Look, Wentz can have a good game there. And New Orleans, those games are usually pretty high scoring. I will give the edge to Wentz. I don't think Stafford's that good, but whatever. Carolina did not play well last week, so we'll see. And that could be a high scoring game. T.Y. Hilton versus Tennessee, and Golden Tate at New Orleans for Nick and Jamie. We'll see how they do. That should be okay. But then the Lightning Rods has Julio Jones versus Dallas and Smith-Schuster at Jacksonville. Those are two tough matchups, but I do think that they are better wide receivers there. T.Y. Yeldon versus Pittsburgh. But now that the Savior's back, I can't imagine he's going to do that well. He's only projected to get 5.7 points anyway. And then Kareem Hunt at the Rams. I think Hunt will do fine. Marlon Mack and Tevin Coleman. Yeah, so Max playing versus Tennessee and Coleman versus Dallas. Look, I think that Kareem Hunt will get more than all of these people combined, but not that by that much, because I think Yeldon won't do much at all. So I think it'll be somewhat close in the running back position. 2.3 for Graham already, as we said. O.J. Howard going against the Giants. I got to think that Howard will get more than 2.3 points, so I'm going to give the edge there. Then you got Brandon Cooks in that Monday night game. I think he'll do well, especially with Cooper Kupp out. Cortland Sutton for Nick and Jamie. They picked him up last week. He got 8.7, I guess, 2 weeks ago. Now he's going against the Chargers. I don't know. I mean, this is supposed to be the guy who's supposed to replace Demaryius Thomas, and Thomas didn't really do much either. I don't know. And then you got Suckup at Indiana and Tucker versus Cincinnati, and then the Indianapolis defense for Nick and Jamie, and the Rams defense versus KC. I don't know how well the Rams defense will do there, but look, I'm gonna go. I think the Lightning Rods, beat Nick and Jamie here. I think it's 2 in a row against the worst teams in the league.
I've never seen a bench that has a bye because it's all the same team.
Yeah, I mean, other than Cam Newton, the entire bench is on a bye. I mean, so this is the lineup they have to go with, and the player that they already played only got 2.30 points. I think it's I think this is rough times for Nick and Jamie. I mean, because if they drop another one, I mean, look, they're at 7-3, but if Fitzmagic wins, they're tied with Fitzmagic. I mean, they're looking at like 5th place at this point. I mean, to go from, riding high, top of the league. I mean, look, they're still going to make the playoffs, I think. I mean, they haven't clinched a playoff spot, but they could, I still think they're going to make it. But I mean, first of all, it looks like they're probably, I mean, they lost their point edge. They only have one, or 13-31, which is like 40 points behind the next closest team or something like that. So, I mean, they don't have the point edge. They don't have the record edge. I mean, this last week has been a disaster, and I think this next one is going to be one too, unless they could pull this out. I mean, this is tough for them. It would be an amazing collapse if that happens.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with lightning rods in this one, surprisingly.
Yeah, I know. I did not expect that. All right. That leaves us with 2 more games. One is the... I don't know, do you want to go with me and Whalers, or do you want to go with the inter-office rivalry? I mean, our 2 listeners, we saved them for last.
Yes, we did.
Well, which one do you want
to... Let's go with the office rivalry, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't much of a game right here. Dave's Secret Crush leading 27.30 to 0 right now. Aaron Jones again with 27.30 points. Right now, the current projection is 165.20 to 106.17. I don't think that Lombardi is going to have the kind of week that he did last week. But we'll see. So Mahomes going against the Rams. Rivers versus Denver. I think Mahomes will outplay the Rivers, but I think Rivers will have a decent game. Corey Davis, I don't know what is going on with this guy. This guy, he's hot and cold. He's up and down and all the rest of the Katy Perry song. I don't know, 25 points last week, but then 12, and then previous to that 4, 3, 8. But then he had a game with 31. I don't think this is going to be one of the games that he does well. I think he's going to suck. Going on to Michael Thomas, who won't suck. And Humphreys versus Tyrell Williams. Both of those people are just atrocious. Well, Humphreys had 2 good games. Yeah, I don't think he will. Tyrell Williams, he's hit or miss. I mean, sometimes he has good games. I mean, like he had a stretch where he had some, like a 26 and a 21 and then 10, and he's tailing off. I think both of those second WR2s are going to suck. But the people that won't suck are McCaffrey at Detroit and Elliott at Atlanta. I think they're just going to blow them out. Versus Dion Lewis at Indianapolis and David Johnson versus Oakland. Maybe David Johnson can do something in this, but I don't think it's going to be able to counter the McCaffrey-Elliott combo. Ebron versus Watson. I think Ebron will outplay Watson, and then Ito Smith is not going to reach 27.30 points that Aaron Jones has, so I give the edge there to Eugene and Parkey and Santos. Parkey for Eugene and Santos for the Blues, and the New Orleans defense for the Blues, and the Baltimore defense for Eugene. I think Eugene walks away with this pretty easily.
Yeah, I agree. This is a blowout.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, like this. I don't know what what is the rest of Eugene's schedule like for the rest of the season? Because, I mean, if he wins out, I mean, he gets first place. He has the record edge, so he plays Fitzmagic next week in a pretty good game, and then week 13 he plays the Whalers in another really good contest. So, yeah, we'll see. But he's in control of everything right now. All right, which leads us to our last game with our other listener. The 1603ers taking on the Mighty Whalers. The Whalers are leading the game 1.8 to 0 right now. Now, first of all, when I looked at this the other day, the projection was ridiculous. It was like 154. Like, I set my lineup, whatever. Originally, it was like 128 or something. I was like, oh, this will be pretty even. No, it was like 154. It was absolutely ridiculous. And his flex player, only gets 1.8 points, and he still, is favored. 132.31 to 125.96. Yes, so we got Matt Ryan versus Dallas against Fitzpatrick at the Giants. I mean, Matt Ryan has been good. I think that he'll play well. You got Tyreek Hill at the Rams. I mean, I think Hill will do well there. Crabtree versus Cincinnati. Obviously, give the edge to Tyreek Hill there. Then Anthony Miller, who's been playing well lately, going versus Minnesota against Galladay versus Carolina. Now, Carolina obviously sucked last week, but and Galladay had a decent game. Yeah, I'm going to give the wide receiver edge to the Whalers, but not surprising, my wide receivers suck. I just don't know who to trust anymore. So, I mean, I got Ridley and Boyd on the bench. I hope that doesn't come back to bite me in the ass, whatever. Then we do have a very good running back matchup here. Connor and Gordon versus Kamara and Mixon. This is one of the better running back matchups all around. Connor at Jacksonville and Gordon versus Denver. Kamara versus Philadelphia and Mixon at Baltimore. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. These are just four superstars going up against each other. I might give a slight edge to the 1603ers because of Mixon, but, I think Kamara will more than make up for that, so I think it's really pretty even. In terms of tight end, I certainly give the edge to the Whalers. He's got Zach Ertz at New Orleans going against, I don't even know how to say this guy's name, but I picked him up. Whatever. Huerman? I don't know. Humor me, man. The tight end for Denver. I mean, Herndon's on a bye, not that he's that great anyway. Azuma sucks dick, and he was gone anyway, so I needed to pick up somebody, and this is the guy I picked up. He did all right a few weeks ago. I mean, he did well, actually. He got 24.30 points. So we'll see if he can continue that, or if that was just a flash in the pan. Now, Jay Reynolds, the guy, Reynolds Rap, picked him up now that Cooper Kupp went down in that Kansas City game going against Scanlon. I do think that he will get more points than 1.8. So I'm going to give the edge there with Reynolds. Wales has Butker going in that Rams game against Rosas. And then we have the Whalers with the Minnesota defense at Chicago against the Arizona defense versus Oakland. Yeah, I mean, look, he's got Chubb on a bye, that helps. I mean, and he's already only got 1.8 points, but we've seen before that these Monday night games are not determinative of the rest of the weekend. Look, the 1603ers definitely have some tough matchups this week. I mean, and especially with some of their quote unquote better wide receivers, which really puts them in a bind. Yeah, and Whalers has some good matchups, like, for example, with Ertz at New Orleans, and Tyreek Hill playing in that Rams game. So, I mean, you got to give the edge, especially after the team just set a record for points. You got to give the edge to Whalers in this game. Plus, I never pick myself anyway. But so yeah, I'm gonna predict the Whalers wins this game.
This is a blockbuster running back matchup. Other than that, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I guess based on personnel, humor me, man, versus Ertz. I may have to go with the Whalers on this one. I don't recognize a lot of the names. 1603ers. I'm not sure what they're doing. They must be reading something that I'm not reading, but this is a big gamble for Dave throwing all these no names in there.
Yeah, but I mean, look at what the names did last week. I mean, look, we after our second loss of the season, we threw a bunch of people in the garbage can, and and it worked for us for a few weeks. Now we're doing the same. We don't take losses lightly here in 1603er land, especially when we lose by 1 point. We're fucking pissed. So we're just gonna roll the dice at this point and see what happens.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, I could put some of these other guys back in, like Boyd or Kirk or Ridley, but I mean, they've been so disappointing lately. I mean, Kirk at least has a pretty good matchup versus Oakland, but I mean, what has Kirk even done the last? He got 2.8 points last week. I mean, is that really what I want to trust right now in this? I mean, because this is a very important game. So, I mean, I don't know, and Reynolds Rap, I mean, he should get some more targets. I mean, we've watched games where Reynolds Rap got all, a lot of Robert Woods touches. So, I don't know. And I think that's going to be a high-scoring game, that entire game. So It's kind of what we're banking on right now, but this lineup could change. I don't know. We'll see. But I don't think it. I mean, I think this is just what I'm going to roll with at this point.
All right, then just roll with it, Steve Winwood.
Yeah. All right. Whalers should be happy. Not only do we both predict him to win, but we're going to come in under an hour once again. All right, so I think he should really love the emo Giza. So what is your upset of the week? I mean, these are all. I don't even know what you call an upset anymore, being that almost every game last week I feel was an upset. I mean,
lightning rods over Nick and Jamie.
I don't even think that's an upset at this point, but sure, I'll go with that. I mean, I think that's going to happen. I mean, I mean, it's pretty sad when Dr. Hockey, who probably will win, is not even the upset of the week anymore.
Nope.
Yeah, sure. I'll go with lightning rods over Nick and Jamie. You're a lock of the week. I mean, I got mine. It's pretty easy right here.
Yeah, Eugene's game is the lock of the week.
Yeah, by far. I don't see the Blues coming back from this. I mean, look, they had a good game last week, but Eugene is gonna walk into that office on Tuesday morning with a nice round of I don't even know, smirk. Yeah. You could do your Eugene impression of what he'll be like on Tuesday after beating Lombardi.
Yeah. You can't even get to me.
You can't even get to me. Why I don't even know why you were even playing.
Yeah.
All right, so that's gonna do it. Yeah, I mean, look, for those of you that are still paying attention, which is most of you, because most of our listeners are actually still in the playoff hunt, and half of our broadcasters are. Yeah, it's an exciting. We're coming down the stretch right here. It's pretty exciting for those that want to pay attention. So until next week, hopefully Geese will. I don't know. What are you doing with it to occupy yourself now that you don't have fantasy football? Video games?
Video games and sleeping all day.
Yeah, I think that's that's good. All right. Well then, yeah. Until next week. I guess that'll do it.
Yep, I guess that will.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Yep.